Good morning, A to Z Sports. It's the A to Z Sports morning show on time, as always, here as you all expect us, starting at 8:16 a.m. Whoops, my fault this morning, but we're here and we're excited to be talking about the Titans. It's an Easton and JT show. You know what that means. It's a third string Thursday, a name that I still don't fully have my arms wrapped around, but at this point, clearly it's sticking. JT, good to be with you. All of you in the chat who have been patient, appreciate you because we've got a great, first of all, rude. Death, taxes, and Easton. In reference to me being late, although, just in general, does this mean that I am in general inevitable? Because they could have said Easton being late, but instead it's just death, taxes, and Easton. I'm just going to be around forever? I don't know if that's good news or bad news for me. Easton working his way towards a write-up. Yeah, the bus driver's going to write me up for this one. Did you ever get written up by your bus driver as a kid, JT?
See, I don't want to get into this territory, but is it weird, or is it saying something about me that I've probably
never rode the bus?
I've never rode the bus.
It does say something about you. Chat, throw tomatoes at JT for
I rode
being
the bus.
A kid that never rode the bus.
I rode the bus for like 3 weeks in first grade before I moved from New Jersey to Cincinnati, and then
so you've technically ridden the bus.
I rode the bus long time ago. So yeah.
Yeah, on the bus, plenty of things you could get written up for. Pulling the emergency handle on the back door was a classic. Just opening wide open the back door.
I did walk to school though. Orlando, like it wasn't like I lived when I moved to Cincinnati. Like, okay. Yes,
that's reasonable.
Yes,
that's
I did go to private school, but also I lived like less than a mile away from the school, grade school. So
that is fair.
Yeah,
that is fair. But yeah, it's just dawning on me how ridiculous school buses are in general now that we're fully off the beaten path of the show. The fact that all you have to do is lift a handle to open wide a massive door at the back of a bus full of unbuckled children, mostly standing around, is crazy. And they let us do, like, the national government is like, this is okay. This is what we want to do. So there's your school bus talk for the day. We can cross school bus discussion off of our list of topics and now move on to the Titans. We're going to talk about, as you see below me, some hope. That's coming in the form of young players. And we're going to talk about one young player in particular towards the end of the show. But generally speaking, I have a question that has been ruminating in my mind, JT, the past day or two. I want to write about it at AtoZSports.com. I'm not 100% sure the best way to do so. Maybe today's discussion will get me there. But we have a question that we're going to start the show with here in a moment that I'm genuinely curious how the chat feels at this point, the midpoint of the season. Titans 1-7. It's been a lot of the same. It's been, the beatings will continue until morale improves, has kind of been the way that the season has gone. But there's still a lot of season left. As long as it's felt so far, being at the midpoint means we have that much left to do. In fact, technically one more game, because we don't get to be midpoint of the season anymore because the NFL changed the number of games. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some individual players, and then we're going to do some sports trivia. How did you and Austin do on sports trivia yesterday? Good day,
knocked
bad
it out of the park. We were
Oh no, really?
We beat the over under by a minute, and we got all of them right. So
like under 4?
It was 3:30.
Wow. All right, so a high bar for us to clear this.
Yeah, we're gonna go 6 minutes today.
That's the spirit. All right,
and we did it without Ann yesterday. So if Ann's here, maybe we get that boost back.
It must have been the biggest gimme of a celebrity mashup of all time.
It was 2 men, so Ann wouldn't have been.
So we didn't even need
anyways.
Ann. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, well maybe today it'll be 2 women to balance it out, and in that case, without Ann, we may go 20 minutes. Who knows? We'll just be stuck there forever. JT, tell the folks what we need to do before we get started.
Yeah, good morning, chat. Listen, if you want to make fun of me for going to private school based on something I cannot control, hey, that's your prerogative. It's not like I had a choice in where I had to go to school. Andre also calling us the crew from Derry, which I think is wild. Okay. No, don't know why.
From the It universe?
Yes, I guess. I don't know what that says about us, but
all right.
Either way, good to see all of you guys here this morning. It is a third string Thursday, and Easton, let me tell you.
Do we think Austin's ever ridden the bus? I'm completely derailing you. Chat,
I have no idea.
What's our guess? Does Austin strike you as a rode the bus kind of guy? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say mom was dropping him off with a kiss every day. That's my guess. All right, you continue.
Yeah, Easton, let me tell you, it is a third string Thursday, and I think we have to continue to lean into that because until we get better, until someone on the third string Thursday gets better and we start these shows earlier, I don't think we're going anywhere except third string right now. So, I think we have to coach better. We have to play better there. And I think the chat would agree with me. But hey, if I didn't ride a bus, at least Curtis is right. I know how to ride a bike. And that's more important, unlike someone else here on the show. Either way, we need a couple things from you guys.
Would it be underwhelming if I just proved to everybody that I'm a very good bike rider? Not only can I ride the bike, I'm one of the best bike riders I know, actually.
Okay.
But I feel like if I ruin this bit, it will like end with a womp womp. Like no one will care. At this point, I should just never get on a bike again to let you guys have your fun.
Well, I don't think you'll get on a bike because you're too scared to. Either way, we need a couple things from you guys.
I'm gonna rent a bike in Indianapolis at the combine and ride it everywhere all week.
We need a couple things from you guys. First of all, make sure you lock in and like the show. Hit that like button. Make sure you are also subscribed to the AtoZSports YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the content we are bringing you every single day over there. If you're on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you like the page and hit that share button. Share the show with a friend who wants to talk about maybe some hope this morning for the Titans. I know we don't do that a lot anymore, but super excited to talk about that this morning. Oh, I mean, hey, out of those three, I will take that. At least I can ride a bike and at least I can swim. So
that's not implied. It just means that your biggest claim to fame is being a privileged schmuck who never rode the bus.
I guess so. Either way, excited to get into today's show. Also, if you guys wanted to know, we need your help. Google is changing its different ways it does stuff. And so I sent the link once again. Hit that link, preference AtoZSports, so that when you search up your favorite type of Titans content, we are one of the first to pop up on the Google look, search engines are now becoming more like social media. We live in a crazy world, but that goes a long way as well to helping us get into your feeds more often, see the content that you guys want to see here in the chat. And with that, Easton, let's get into some Titans talk.
Yeah, we're dead serious about the Google thing. You guys have no idea how much Google has made our lives difficult on the back end at AtoZSports this year. A follow genuinely is a very big help for us, so go and do that. All right, let's get it started. Welcome in to the AtoZSports Morning Show, live on a Thursday morning, powered by BTA Sports, as you can see on both of our hats. Every weekday morning, we are live at 8-ish Central Time, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links tweeted out segment by segment on our Twitter feed at AtoZSports. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well for more Titans coverage. And follow us on Google with that link in the chat, please and thank you. Got to thank our sponsors for making the show happen and helping out you all at home. Wilson County Hyundai. Make Wilson County Hyundai a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon or at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone & Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine, boneandjointtn.org. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs, local and online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short. Buy a golf cart with 2 locations to serve you, Columbia and Gallatin, boterocarts.com. And Window Nation, buy 2 windows and you'll get 2 for free. Make no payments for 2 years at windownation.com. JT, we're going to talk about hope for the rest of the season. The next 9 games the Titans have. They play the Chargers this weekend before taking their mid-ish season bye and then finishing their final 8 games. How much hope do we have in the Titans showing us anything the rest of this year? That's what we want to talk about here at the top. And we have a clip from the youngest tight end on this team, Gunnar Helm, yesterday in the locker room talking about the rest of the season, talking about his team, and he quoted his teammate Tony Pollard from a couple of weeks ago this season, and this is what the Titans are currently battling against.
Last couple of weeks, though, it feels like the offense is starting to show a little more life than it had, at least at the start of the season. What do you guys feel like is working better collectively?
I think just our communication. Kind of early on in the road games, it was tough to communicate. I don't think we are all the way there yet with our chemistry. Now it's super easy to communicate on the road when it's loud. Obviously we need some more things to go our way. We need to focus on beating the Titans before we can beat other teams. But, we're just going to continue to work on it, eliminate little things little by little.
So referencing the quote from Tony Pollard earlier this year where he said, once we figure out how to beat the Titans, we'll be a darn good football team. That is what the Titans are doing. Gunner, they're talking about some individual examples of things that were a struggle, now less of a struggle. Some maybe more rudimentary football things that it's easy to lose sight of. Oh, a lot of these young guys and a lot of these guys that haven't worked together on the same team are all still figuring it out with one another, and there is runway for them to show some growth in these areas. And once you start stacking these individual things, it creates a better atmosphere for success. So let's go ahead and ask the question, JT, because I want to really lean into what the chat has to say this morning, and then I'll share my thoughts that I'm trying to write about at AtoZSports.com, and maybe the chat can help me get to the bottom of how I feel about this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much hope do you have in the Titans showing you anything the rest of the year? We'll let the responses file in on Facebook and on YouTube while I tell everyone about our friends at Window Nation. They are still, technically, because it is October, but boy, are you running out of time, to get a hold of their best, most popular deal going on right now where you can buy 2 windows and get 2 free. That ends in 2 days. That is a September and October deal. So you still have time. That's the good news. You need to get on the phone today. Schedule a free and fast estimate now with the pros at Window Nation. Check them out at 866-90-NATION. You can call that number, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com to make that appointment. And if you buy from them in the next 2 days, you will get 2 windows free when you buy 2 windows. You'll also make no payments for 2 years. Won't have to deal with a monthly payment or a down payment or interest until 2027. So whether you have old drafty windows or cheap builder grade windows, now is the best time to replace your windows. Protect your home ahead of the increasingly fall and wintry weather coming down the pike. It's been a real fall week here in Nashville, constantly misting and dreary, and the leaves are turning colors. Now is the time to switch your air conditioners from cool to heat. Now is the time to insulate your home with better windows from our friends at Window Nation. Give them a call today or tomorrow for the best deal. Time is running out. That estimate is fast and free. You're not on the hook if you call. It's just going to give you an opportunity to get their best deal. 866-90-NATION.
Also, shout out our friends over at BTA Sports, BTA Better for Betters. Easton, Thursday Night Football tonight. Listen, if you have
a barn burner in the chamber tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you are convicted that Lamar Jackson is going to come back and crush the Dolphins and the Ravens are legit again and pushing for the playoffs, if you think that Mike McDaniel has turned his team around and think they can play close, if you have one of those 2 opinions, you can always check BTA because they have the analytical insight to back up your prediction, or maybe say, maybe stay away from that one, because they make you a smarter, better. And with them, listen, I don't know about you, Easton, but we have some new promo codes that are going to be very important for you the rest of the season.
That's right.
Use code ATOZ14 to turn that 3-day free trial into a 14-day free trial on the weekly pass, which is $9.99. So that means you get 2 free weeks of the pass before you have to start paying that weekly subscription to try it out. Or you can use the code ATOZSports. That's our full name, ATOZSports, which turns the yearly pass, which, by the way, is only still $99, from 7 days to 14 days. So that means you get, for $99, you get 2 weeks free to try them out. If you like them, great. Pay the $99, and you are grandfathered into the rest of the year. That's 12 months. So all the way to next October, the start of next football season, all the features that they will be pushing the rest of this season and beyond. BTA, where insight meets instinct. Got to check them out at BTA Sports.
All right, JT, I'm going to send you to the comments now that we have done so much ad reading. Let's talk about the football. The question was, scale of 1 to 10, how much hope do you have in the Titans showing you anything the rest of the year? I have a pretty strong opinion on this, but I want to hear what the people have to say first.
Yeah, and I think here's where the divide is, right? Because the question is, how much hope do you have in the Titans showing you anything? Not in like for them to turn it around, not
We
for
did
them
not say
to start
win
winning
games. Win
games,
games
right?
is not on the board here.
Because you can have hope that this team shows you something and still be like me and think about betting the Chargers up to minus 19 and a half. Like, you
Right.
can still believe that the Titans, I'm thinking about it, like just throwing a little teaser out there on an escalator. Because
Every week it's like, how far will this book allow me to tease this line?
exactly,
They set a limit. What is their limit? I'm just curious.
like, you can still believe that the Titans are going to get throttled, especially in this game against the Chargers, and also have some hope that some of the young guys or like little parts of this game and this team turn things around and show you promise. And so I think that's the difference. So, like, if this is true, and maybe this is a good caveat for people to maybe change their answers or maybe rethink about the question, but like a 0 to me is like you have no hope in Cam Ward to show any growth,
That's what he's saying.
upside. Like that's what the question is saying right there. Daniel says 7, Corey says 0 as well, Guy says 2, Edward says real 8. Stephen
So we're all over the
Crazio
place.
says 1. Roop says 0.1.
I appreciate him leaving. That's less lazy than the zeros. He is technically leaving a window.
A door open. Yeah.
He's cracked the door ever so slightly.
Curtis says 6, 4, and like 3 out of 10. Tall Texan says 1 unless the players changed.
Oh.
Which I think is get different players in there.
Sure.
Ira Hoshi says 4. Eric says 0. I'm already on to next season.
Oh, okay.
James Henderson, which I think this is like the first answer where I agree with, like, and like this is a very good answer. Like 6, the rookies are showing me something, and so that is some hope for the future there. Minus 10 from Brian Callahan, who's been outed as JR right there. Darius 6.5.
It wasn't Brian Callahan?
Oh, that's crazy. It wasn't Cam Ward either? That's crazy.
No, that guy's really Cam Ward. I'm sure.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Titans Kyle says 4.69. 7,
Nice.
because I hope the rookies can show something against the other team's starters. 8, I'm already seeing more than I saw pre-firing. 10, we have Cam, remember? Chris Frazier still very high on Cam. 9, I'm still high on the rookies. 1, but I am hopeful that the Titans can secure the number 1 pick.
Well,
Mock draft season is quickly approaching here in Tennessee. Easton, dread it, run from it. Mock draft season will arrive all the same. Rick
Sick.
says 4, I see the rookies working hard through it. It's hard to believe the team as a whole will be motivated enough to work together much before we get a new head coach. I mean,
I think there's some truth to this, that when you fire the coach as early as you did, it does create a me mentality instead of a we mentality in the building. It does. There's no avoid. Talk about run from it, dread it. Like, coaches are thinking about their next jobs. Players are thinking about the trade deadline and their next contract. That's what you invite when you fire your coach.
Yeah. So, even when giving people an opportunity to, now that we've reframed the question and explained it a little better,
they're still out.
She 37, who said a 0 earlier, said, "Why can't we just forfeit games?" So no helping there.
Well, by the bylaws of the league, you can in fact forfeit games. So
can you?
Yeah, you can not play them. You just that's in the rule book. That's not in the financial guidelines. So if a team started doing that and costing the league a lot of money, I think that might go over a little differently.
Mike McCoy is going to tell the boys that, hey, we're playing the Chargers, so it's a 3:25 game. They all start showing up at 1:00 this weekend.
Oh man.
Plausible deniability there.
That's right.
Yeah, Easton, your thoughts on if you have hope?
So I was talking to somebody yesterday when I kind of came to this conclusion. As beaten down as I am, as we all are, about this season, and as much as I, like everybody else, show up to work or to watch the game on Sunday every Sunday morning, I'm like, I don't know if you saw the trend going around Twitter last week, but it was a picture of a guy in the shower with like his arms on the wall with his head in his arms, like thinking, depressed, just like soaking in the hot water. And it's like, what can make a guy do this in the shower? And it's like having to cover the Titans on a Sunday. That's me on Sunday morning before covering the Titans. I'm mentally steeling myself with my morning shower, psyching myself up. And yet, with 9 games to play, I still have faith in this team showing me something. So to put an actual number on it to answer our question, I'll say a 7. Because of the young guys on the team. This team feels like a forest that's been burned down. But when I look closely, I still see saplings starting to emerge from the ashes.
You're like Wally with the plant.
Yes, no, it's 1,000. Yes, Wally's plant. I see a couple of those little plants on this team that are going to grow. And I've watched enough NFL football and enough garbage teams in my life. And I've watched those teams down the stretch of the season enough in my life to know that the season is long, that who you are in October and September is not who you necessarily are in November and December. And that can go both ways for good and bad teams, right? And the Titans have enough guys on their team that I think, regardless of supporting cast, regardless of injuries, regardless of how we feel about the coaching staff and the support that they're given from the sideline, I just think they're going to continue to figure some things out and continue to show us things. And that's Cam Ward, it's Gunnar Helm, it's Alec Manor, it's Chimray Dike, it's Kevin Winston Jr., it's Femi Oladejo if and when he comes back, it's Cedric Gray, it's Devondre Sweat, who has already doubled his sack count from the year before, and without Jeffrey Simmons out there, which is a massive pain in my side because I really want to see them play together. He's starting to look better each week. It's the offensive line, which to this point has been the grandest disappointment for me for this team, but I still believe in an offensive line's ability when healthy, and they have their starting 5 right now, to continue to trend in the right direction. All of those things that have a long runway the rest of this year to make some moves and to take some steps give me hope that they're going to show us something. And that was, I am anticipating, as the one person in the comments said, well, I've seen more post-firing than I saw pre-firing. I think that was always going to be something that happened regardless of the coaching staff and regardless of the firing. Like, it's an unprovable thesis, I understand. But to me, JT, it's only been 2 weeks of the Mike McCoy leadership so far. Right? 2 weeks? Yeah.
2 games?
2 games. Yeah. I tripped myself out on that. I have not seen anything from the coaching staff, which again is all the same besides Mike McCoy instead of Brian Callahan being the guy with the headset on, that indicates to me, well, the coaching has changed some things for these guys. I'm just seeing a bad team continue to trudge along without much help at all, support from the sidelines, and they're starting to figure some stuff out on their own, to be honest. Like, I'm not to say like the coaching staff's doing nothing. I'm just saying I've not seen a change in the coaching staff. I think that it's been largely the same process. And frankly, the coaches have said, like, we're tweaking some things, but we're staying the course. The course that was set by Brian Callahan is now being the baton picked up by Mike McCoy. Now, we can all quibble with how good or bad we think that course is, but I think that it's been largely the same, and the players are starting to take those steps. And so that's exciting to me. Again, the bar for excitement is on the floor, in the basement, in the sub-basement right now. But I do think that you're going to see some things from this team. I mean, gut check right now, JT, if somebody asked me, like, what would the line need to be for you to bet on this team not winning a game the rest of the year? What would the line need to be on this team getting the first overall pick by being 1-16? I despite everything they've shown me to indicate, yep, it's happening. They're going to get it. They're not going to win. I would bet against them losing out. I would bet against them getting the number 1 overall pick. It's hard. It is. You've got to be uniquely bad to do that, especially twice in a row.
Yeah, I kind
and this
of
team
agree
is
with
uniquely
you.
bad, to be clear. I mean, they are.
Yeah,
at the moment.
I agree with you in the sense that along those lines, I don't know. I'm sure, like, morbidly curious what the line will be in the Titans Saints game later this year. But I'm pretty sure that's the game I would still take the Titans. I refuse to believe that this team will lose to Tyler Shuck. let's just put it like that. Okay. If he is still out there at that point, because they are also they're in a very weird transition year, kind of like the Titans were last year, having to essentially play Tyler Shuck right now, because if they don't, then they won't have their answer at quarterback, and they need to play Tyler Shuck in order to bring up, the discussion of, okay, we need to actually use this pick next year to go get a quarterback. I have a hard time believing that you lose to Tyler Shuck. And if you bring that back up real quick, like sure. That game, like you have that on the schedule, week 14, I understand, like
the Shadur Bowl.
Like, listen, I put that tweet out based on like
happen.
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks until that game. With the way Dillon Gabriel is playing, like I have never felt more convicted in the fact that we will get a Cam versus Shadur game in week 14.
I wrote an article in May when the schedule was still relatively fresh off the presses of predicting and I should go back and visit this actually, predicting the storyline in each week of the Titans season. And the week 14 one was just, it's going to be Cam versus Shadur. I have no idea how we're going to get there, but it's what it's going to be. And it's going to be, I think I even wrote there's a chance both teams absolutely blow, but nationally it still garners a lot of attention because of course it does. So it's coming. It might be a disaster for the Titans, frankly. The Titans might be praying, hoping that somehow Dillon Gabriel sticks it out until week 14. Shadur, you can start in week 15 and finish the season, buddy. You get the last month, but please don't bring this national attention to what could be a disaster. Because listen, do I think Shadur's going to come in and win that game? No. But do I think Cleveland's defense could come in and ruin the Titans' day? Yeah. So
yeah, and
they will easily be the best unit on the field that day. I can already tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, to go back to that question, like I think they find a way back to 3-14. However they do it, and it's kind of crazy.
I'm with you. I think it'll be 3.
It's hilarious to say they find a way to get back to 3-14 instead of somehow
fight and claw your way back to 3 games won.
But I do
6 wins in 2 years.
Yeah, but I do think
28 losses
is the reality that we are in, and how they do that is through the young guys. So to answer on mine, I'm probably not as high on you because once again, I am kind of playing that game in terms of, putting my money where my mouth is and seeing how far I can push the books to see how bad this Titans team is. And like I said, Chargers minus 19.5 is the top of an escalator where I throw $5 on everything else. That is something I'm thinking about. And so I can't say I'm super hopeful for this team and still say that. So I'll go a flat 6 because I do think there's some good things. We'll see what happens before the Tuesday deadline, but let's say Chigakonkwo gets traded, that opens the door. It already was kind of opening for Gunnar Helm to play more, but that blows it wide open. I think in that loss last week in a blowout fashion, one of the players outside of the player we're going to talk about here is Gunnar Helm. When Cam and him hook up on the sideline down the field like that, it is really awesome to see. And that's what you need to see more of. So I liked him a lot in that game. Elikai Manor is, I think, the guy that needs to show the most growth out of these guys because we haven't seen it in a while. And
Agreed.
The drops are still a thing. And, a lot of those knocks on his pre-draft eval are kind of rearing their ugly head now. And so those are the things you need to see him develop through the offensive line. If they can put it all together, that's another thing. If you can string together 6 or 7 good games to end the season there, that should give you a lot of hope going into next season. So I'm at it. And then of course, Cam's game against the Colts, I think I graded it a C. If we start to see more consistent C games from him, that's a positive considering where we were at earlier in the season. So I'm at a 6.
I think we're going to include Tajay Spears in this as well, by the
Oh
way.
yeah,
'Cause
and
he,
Tajay
you know,
Spears.
another guy that is trade bait at this point. And like, do I think he's going to be moved? No, but will I be surprised? Absolutely not. Tony Pollard, when we look at the last 4 games since Tajay Spears has returned, Tajay had 4 carries plus some targets, then 9 carries plus some targets, then 9 carries again plus some targets, and last week it was 12 carries plus some targets. He's outsnapped Tony Pollard in half of the games since he's returned. So, I have my own opinion on whether it would be wise to move Pollard and go all in on Spears. If you go all in on Spears, to me, you are saying we are fine being a gadgety run team instead of a traditional run team. I think you use him the way, what's an example? Like Bill Merritt is being used in Washington, where it's like,
Hopefully a little better though,
well,
because
yeah, but like the usage of, he's going to
right.
get 10 to 15 actual handoffs max a game. We'll play around with getting some guys in the run solutions, getting, maybe an end around to a receiver. Like we'll do some things that run, like we won't be volume passing at 45 passes a clip or anything, but it's not going to be like with Pollard. You can go into a game and be like, we're going to give him the ball 20 times today, and we can trust that that's going to be fine and we're not going to break him. With Spears, I just don't know that that's the way that you operate with a player like that, especially with his track record. But you don't have to have a guy, you don't have to, that is that volume traditional runner. And I think they could work. I mean, I think that, like last week, 12 actual carries plus some targets in the run solution game and the dump off game, and then you're getting the ball in a receiver's hand once or twice, and like that you can still run that way. So
Yeah, and it helps Cam out a lot more than I think it does with Pollard, to be honest, because in those moments you found success where Cam does drop back. Tajay has looked better in the pass blocking game as well. And so I think that's a huge positive for him, because then not only is Cam learning to take that dump off pass, and with Pollard, you get 3 or 4 yards. Tajay, when you get the ball to him in that kind of panic dump off, can rip it off for 7 or 8, or, break a tackle like he did on that run solution or to the outside, right? On that third and 4, and rip it for 41 yards. Like that's the kind of mystery box that you get. You know what you get with Tony Pollard when you dump it off to him, right? It's going to be 3 or 4 yards and you're going to maybe get close to the first down. With Tajay, you actually have a shot to turn that into a new set of downs. And so I think that's also very positive for Cam's development as well.
Well, there's another player we're going to talk about at length here, the guy that is the talk of the town this week. But first, I got to tell you about our friends at Botero Carts, because life is short. You got to go buy a golf cart from our friends at Botero Carts. They have 2 locations here to serve you in Columbia and in Gallatin. They are locally owned and operated, full service sales and rental dealership. They have carts starting at just under $6,800, 0% financing for 36 months on their carts, no dealer fee, no credit card fees, no credit needed option if that's something that you're interested in. They are the place to go if you're looking to buy a golf cart in the Middle Tennessee area. Check them out at Botero Carts.
Yeah, also shout out our friends over at BTA Sports, BTA Better for Better. Once again, use those 2 promo codes if you want to use the weekly pass, which is $9.99. Use that code ATOZ14 to turn your 3-day free trial into a 14-day free trial, and then $9.99 for the week after that. Or if you want to go with the yearly path, you can go with AtoZSports. That turns your 7-day free trial into a 14-day free trial, and then $99 for the season pass. BTA Sports, where insight meets instinct. Use the link in the show description or right there below the title on Facebook. Once again, your edge every week, BTA Sports.
So, of course, we need to talk about Chimray Dike now, who has been the breakout player the last 2 games. He has received 12 targets the next 2 games, or the last 2 games. He has caught all but one of them. So I don't know what the math on that is, but 11 out of 12 is a much, 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 much better completion percentage, by the way. I think this is a sneaky element of it, than Cam Ward's season average, which is sitting, last I checked, at like 55%-ish. So when Cam targets Chim, it's a totally different story. DK has 163 yards in those 2 games and a touchdown. He has been nails, and here is what his quarterback had to say about him when we asked yesterday.
I just think me and him seeing the field the same way lately, and it was kind of, just he's splitting reps with Locke at the time, but I think now that he's getting way more reps, he's finally see how I like to throw the ball over the middle. He watches film with me every day, so I'm excited for Chim. He's going to always be a part of the game plan, just not only what to do with special teams, just trying to find him, get the way ball. He's one of our fastest players out there, so we just got to keep on letting him make plays for us.
Looking at some of his advanced metrics, JT, and we got a question coming up here in just a second on him, but this is from Next Gen Stats. Rookie 4th-round Chimray Dike has stepped up for the Titans with Calvin Ridley sidelined the past 2 weeks, and I do want to talk about maybe what has led to his emergence. Dike saw tied for a team-high 8 targets, catching 7 of them for 93 yards, 16.4 PPR points. It's hilarious they're putting fantasy stats in here. He also led the team in receiving yards last week with 90 and has now scored 15 or it's more fantasy. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Over the last 2 weeks, without Ridley, Dike has accounted for 31.7% of the Titans' receiving yards, 15.9% more than any other player on the roster. He saw season-high target rate and overall usage the last 2 weeks. And we want to ask the question, JT, is 2 weeks worth of production? Because let me stop myself real quick. Before these last 2 weeks in which he had 163 yards, on the year, he has 189 yards. Meaning in his first 6 games that he played, I don't know why I couldn't just do 8 minus 2, but we counted them. He was targeted, 8, 12, 18 times and caught 9 of them. So a 50% completion percentage. And he only had 25 yards on those 9 catches. Yeah. So he's averaging 3 yards.
And listen,
a pop.
maybe Chimray heard me absolutely disrespecting him, saying that he was not going to be valuable to a new head coach if he didn't do anything on wide receiver. And guess what? Right. Ever since I said that he's done nothing at the wide receiver position to merit being valuable to this team, he's exploded. He's looked awesome. So maybe you're welcome.
We control the levers of power here on the AtoZSports Morning Show.
Yes.
Let's ask the question, JT, now that we have properly set the table for the DK discourse. Is 2 weeks enough to convince you that Chim Dike is a starting caliber receiver in the NFL? And I want, before you answer, folks, to really consider not starting caliber for the Titans, starting caliber in the NFL. Is this guy an NFL starter based on what you've seen the last 2 weeks? We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about what has led to this explosion. We'll talk about perspective on the Titans versus the rest of the league, an interesting couple wrinkles to this question, but I want to see what the chat has to say. Are you convinced quite yet that he's a starter in the NFL? While you guys are answering, I'll tell you about our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group. They bring the customized solutions for all of your insurance needs at Barton Drury. Check them out at bartondrury.com. They are also a locally owned and operated shop here. They are a one-stop shop for both your personal and business insurance. Over 40 years of serving Tennesseans under their belt. Austin and Zach here at A to Z bought from these guys when we needed corporate insurance about a year ago now. They offered a number of different options and plans. High responsiveness, experienced service team, feeling of expertise was through the roof. No question in Austin and Zach's minds that these guys knew what they were talking about. They brought a level of comfort to the table, and they sell everything from employee benefits, 401k planning, life insurance, workers' comp, liability, auto, property, umbrella, and the all-important surety bonds that you might need in life. They are, again, local, and they strive to provide excellent service, but most importantly, they want to take the time to make sure that everyone understands their insurance policy. They will take care of you. Check them out at bartondrury.com.
Yeah, also got to shout out our friends at BTA Sports one more time because, once again, Thursday Night Football, and they've got the edge for you, BTA Sports, where insight meets instinct. BTA isn't a sports book. They're just the tool that helps you win more than you lose. Whether you're a casual fan or a betting junkie, BTA's tools break down the numbers so you can trust your gut and the data. Once again, use that link in the show description or right below the title to turn your free trial into a 14-day free trial, whether that is the weekly or yearly pass. BTA Sports is better for bettors.
Straight to, I'll send you the chat. We asked the question is 2 weeks enough to convince you that Chimray Dike is a starting caliber receiver in the NFL? What are you seeing?
Yeah, we've got Kendall the Yapper who says yes.
Kendall the Yapper. Love that.
Steven says, oh yes. Big says sure. Tall Texan says hell no. No. This one's pretty funny. Bork says DK is going to return a kickoff for a touchdown, point at the camera and say F me. So
I hope so.
That would be fun.
I might ask him to do that in the locker room this week. I'm like, hey, you don't know who this guy is, but I need you to say this verbatim, please.
Matt says yes. Eric says no, just a flash in the pan. Cap says no, definitely not a practice squad guy either, though.
So certified depth.
Yes. Ramon says yes. Yuri says he didn't get the snaps. Easton and Callahan was calling the plays then. This is something I wanted to bring up real quick. Like, back to this, like, these have always, it's not like Callahan left and then Bo Hardegree was like, let's put in the plays that I didn't tell Brian Callahan about to get to DK. Like, they've always been there.
Correct. Like, this is frustrating me because, again, it's unprovable. But there was, like, whether Callahan was here through week 9 or through week 18 or gone in week 1, there is a marching of time element to this that rookies, like, Callahan didn't get to coach the rookies when they were 8 games into their careers. He got to coach them when they were 4 and 5 games into their careers. Callahan didn't get to coach the team when Tyler Lockett wasn't on the roster anymore, or Calvin Ridley was hurt the whole time. And that's not to rain on DK's parade. It's less me saying that DK is a merchant of guys not being here, and more me saying, I sure hope this coaching staff doesn't undo what they've done for DK when guys return. Now, Lockett's not coming back. That's the good news, right? And, you know, I there's a reason why he was being continually forced out at the end of his time of the actual rotation at the end of his tenure in Tennessee, and that's why he asked out, and that's why he wants to go to a place like Las Vegas. You know, when you have a chance to ring chase in Las Vegas, you simply have to take it. But in all seriousness, he just wants opportunity, which I completely understand, and he's going to get that, especially when they probably trade Jacoby Myers. DK is also benefiting from Ridley not being here. Now, I think he's primarily benefiting from Lockett just because DK, as I wrote about extensively in the summer, the ideal role, what Callahan and staff wanted him to be when they what Borgonzi wanted him to be when they drafted him, was their big slot. A guy that primarily operated from the inside. Or in the case of last week, I don't know if you saw the clip on Twitter, running through the C gap, which is a fun little wrinkle. That's what he's doing now because Lockett's not taking slot snaps, but also Ridley, a guy that they move around the rotation and operates from the slot some too, is not out there. So the snap share, the usage rate for both DK and Iamaner, who have that inside-out versatility, has gone through the roof. Ridley's going to come back eventually, unless they trade him too, in which case it is wheels up for those 2 young guys. When he does, I really hope that they kind of limit his role to the outside and just let DK continue to operate the way that he has been. Even if it kind of comes down to earth a little bit and the completion percentage isn't as perfect, he's not putting up 70 and 90 yards a game. Maybe it's 40 and 50 yards a game, but those are reps that are important to me, JT. And I have danced around answering the question, do I believe he's a starter yet? And that's because I want to get your take on this element of it. It is kind of hard to gauge NFL caliber starters on the Titans because they as a team right now are a funhouse mirror. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. And over the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of this, unfortunately, where guys are like, wow, this guy's clearly a starter on this team. And then you realize, oh, he's only a starter on this team because they blow, because there's no competition, because he's the best of the bad players. And I'm not saying that's what DK is. But do you get what I'm saying, where it's kind of hard to parse, well, are you a real starter or are you a Titan starter right now?
Yeah, I think if you're looking at one position, though, where like it's sink or swim a lot of the time in the NFL, it is at wide receiver, right? Because if you go out there, like you either in going up against some of the best, certainly the Colts were and the Patriots have some of the like best defenses right now in the AFC. Like you either sink or swim. You either get after those guys or you don't. And DK has done that. Like that's kind of the conversation with Xavier Restrepo, right? Like he gets out there, you either sink or swim. And certainly this team, based on the elevations that they've had so far, believe that he would sink against actual other NFL defenses. Now that it is fair to say, like if they brought in like 2 or 3 guys next year or over the next 2 years, would he start moving back down the depth chart?
That's my question.
Potentially. But I mean, you have to think about where they drafted him this year, right? Like he was the first wide. They could have had Io Manor before DK, and they chose because there was that run at the beginning of the 4th round on some of those more traitsy, toolsy type wide receivers. They chose to kind of reach at the time and take DK. And I believe that means at least something. And it's not just, here's why I don't think it is just that in which he's playing on a bad team. I mean, you look at some of the national outlets and national people all over, when you look at the tape and start doing that, right? Like you are starting to see a guy who can be, he can be that wide receiver that you need him to be specifically for this team. And so the wide receiver position, I think, is one of those that it's hard to say if, like, once again, you sink or swim. And I think right now, Chimray Dike is showing that he can swim against a lot of these teams.
I agree. Have either of us actually answered the question?
Oh, no. I think so. Like, I'm ready to buy in on that. And certainly I think he can be, because here's the thing, right? And why I am is because it's not like anybody is going to be gunning for his spot right now. Like if they want him to,
Xavier Restrepo, bro, what are you talking about?
Okay. If they want him to be that starting slot going forward, I mean, they have bigger fish to fry in terms of finding that X receiver and that Z receiver on the outside, whether that is Alec Iomanor developing into that guy or in the draft next year. But the one place that maybe isn't the premium wide receiver position for this team or for a lot of teams is maybe that slot, because you can find a guy to play that well for you. They certainly tried to do that early on in the season with Tyler Lockett, and we saw how that turned out. But like, once again, like that is his position to lose. And right. I think that's why I say that he is here to stay and is here to maybe be this team's starter for the foreseeable future, is because he has that position on lock. It's not like they're not going to bring in a lot of competition to that spot because they have a lot bigger fish to fry.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm tempted to join you. I will join you. I will buy it when Ridley comes back, when Bryce Oliver comes back, when we get to see some more games of Alec Iomanor. I think that he's going to continue to develop and bounce back from kind of a rocky couple of games here. If he continues to block out all of those competing factors, continues to get his, in terms of usage, starting caliber snaps, and also targets and success downfield, do that for, and I'm assuming Ridley and Oliver come back soon. That's an assumption on my part. They may not, and so it may continue to be what we're seeing right now. But if they do, and he's still doing this for another week or 2 or 3, and we're well into November, we're getting to Thanksgiving, and it's still, and again, I'm not saying continue what you've been, like, I'm not saying 90 yards every week for the next month, or I don't believe you. But I want to see the snap counts stay where they're at with competition coming back. And I want to see him continue to be targeted by Cam Ward when there are other mouths to feed in a significant way, right? I don't want to see him be like a part of the team the way that Van Jefferson feels, where it's like, well, if Van's open, I'll throw it to Van, I guess. But I'm not seeking out Van. Right?
On that,
I want to see Cam Ward seek out Chim Dike the way that he has been when there are other mouths.
Yeah, that is funny because I do feel like Van Jefferson runs one route and one route only, and that's the only route that Cam will throw it to
right.
when he's open.
Mhm.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just think that in terms of the conversation of like starting slot receivers, not just for the Titans, but also in the NFL, like he's a guy that I think can play at that position because it's not as big of a deal, in my opinion, because of the speed he has, like just on the traits alone, utilizing him in that role instead of the outside, which is a bigger deal for a lot of these teams. I think that is where I'm buying in on it.
Fair enough. Well, we've got some sports trivia to get to wrap up the show today. But first, let me tell our friends about the Bone and Joint Institute, longtime sponsor of the show. They are the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. Check them out at boneandjointtn.org. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust. And the Bone and Joint Institute is located right here in Franklin off I-65. They got over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury. State-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help your recovery. They do everything under their one roof for your convenience. Clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, rehab. It's all in the same place. You don't have to bounce around across town to different facilities. Schedule an appointment today at boneandjointtn.org. JT, let's try to beat yesterday's sports trivia. One last time, check them out. BTA Sports, better for betters. Make sure that you are using that link in the description below to sign up for a 14-day free trial. And also shout out to our friends at Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process at wilsoncountyhyundai.com or in person in Lebanon. JT, I am pulling up the dozen trivia. Any signs of Ann this morning? I have not seen any.
I have not seen Ann either. We hope she's okay.
We do hope she's okay.
I also have not seen a line yet from Orlando.
Okay,
so.
well, we'll give it 1 second as I'm going to pull up the old share my screen. Are you ready with the graphic?
Yes.
All right, hit it. All right, well, we've waited. There's no line from Orlando, but you know what? We're going to set our own
Take the
bar.
over. Just take the over.
Well, no. We're going to try to beat yesterday.
Okay.
That's the bar. It's a high bar. It's an unlikely bar, but we're going to try. We just now seeing this NBA on here, which is, that's bad.
Not great.
Not great. The NBA is back, but our knowledge never.
Yeah, hold on. Do you know why it's called Daily Dozen when there's only 9?
No. That's, You know what? Hadn't thought of that. So,
I saw that comment from Lucas in the chat, and that's a great question.
Yeah, I don't know. Ask Barstool. Why do they do a number of the things that they do? I'm not sure. Yeah. All right. We're going to need y'all in the chat, so lock in.
Yes, lock in.
NFL. Here we go. Since 2010, this NFC South franchise has only had one player eclipse 1,000 rushing yards in a season. Well, it's one of 4 teams.
Not the Bucks. Not the Panthers. So it's Falcons or Saints, I think.
I think it's the Saints because I don't think Kamara. I think Kamara's a lot of receiving.
Yeah.
Hasn't Bijan
and Devonta Freeman both have gone over 1,000, so I'm going to go Saints.
Yes, let's go Saints. Nice. From 1990 to 2001, the Diablo was a sports car model produced by this luxury automobile brand. Crap. I know what a Diablo is.
Do you?
I mean, yeah, people refer to that. I know it's a car. I know it's an old sports car.
I got no idea. Lambo?
Diablo? Is it? Okay.
Sure. That makes sense, yeah.
Lamborghini. Television, based on a horror film series of the same name, this slasher TV series ran on MTV and VH1 from 2015 to 2019 and starred Willa Fitzgerald, Keke Palmer, Tyga, and Sosie Bacon.
I think it's Friday the 13th or Halloween. It's one of those.
You do?
I think so. Or Scream?
Slasher. Scream kind of sounds right. All right, people are saying
like Scream.
Not a big MTV watcher myself.
Okay.
Movies in 2022 alone, Mia Goth had the lead role in the horror film X, and this second film that served as the origin story for the villain from the first film.
I think I know it. Isn't it the one where it's like the farm? She's like the farm girl.
Was X.
Oh, is that X? Pearl.
Pearl?
No, Pearl.
Oh, wait,
yes.
no, Pearl. It's totally Pearl. Good call. forgot about that. Just when I thought I said all I could say, my chick on the side said she got one on the way. Our lyrics from this '04 Usher song.
What?
I'm sure I know it, but based on that lyric,
I don't.
side chick's pregnant is tough for '04 Usher.
Yeah,
Someone's
that
gonna
is
know in the
tough.
chat though. This is gonna be obvious. Confessions, sure. Part 2.
Part 2? Okay.
Snacks and candy, invented in the early 1900s by the American Candy Company and now produced by Tootsie. This brand is known for its novelty candy made to resemble human lips.
What?
What? Novelty candy made to resemble
Lip?
human-
Like, is it just lip candy? Like, I don't.
I have not had this novelty candy.
I've
think.
never.
Invented in the early 1900s by the American Candy Company, now produced by Tootsie. Smackers? Not an option. What are we talking about?
Something wax?
Wax
Oh,
lips. I don't know. Wacko wax?
no. Lip. Go just lip. Go with lip real quick.
Nothing.
No. Can we skip?
We have
Like,
hit
I don't
a
know.
roadblock. We have hit
Yeah,
a
it's tough.
roadblock.
It's tough. We're not gonna beat it.
We're going to come back to that. Chat, if anybody can think of it. Anaheim drafted this winger second overall after Sidney Crosby in 05, and he totaled over 500 points with the Ducks, Senators, and Red Wings from 07 to 21.
Is that Bobby Ryan?
If you say so.
Because he started with the Ducks.
Does he have 500 points in his career, you think?
Probably.
Nice. Good call. I think Wacko Wax is real. Let's try it.
Okay.
Nice. NBA. During Shaq's first year with Miami, the Heat lost in the 05 Eastern Conference Finals in 7 games against this team. Crap, I should know this. Miami Shaq. I knew he went to the finals. The conference finals. I knew that they had a good team.
The Celtics.
In
Dallas?
05?
Mavs?
People were saying Indiana.
Pistons?
People are all over the place. Mavs.
Yeah, people are all.
Well, hang on. The Mavs aren't in the Eastern Conference.
Oh,
so-
true. Well, we're. Pistons? Everyone's
Pistons go
saying
to
Mavs.
Pistons didn't go to the finals in 05, did they? That recently?
I don't.
Guys, the Eastern Conference Finals.
Go Pistons. It's Indiana or Pistons, apparently. Go Pistons.
Pistons.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Celeb mashup. Oh gosh. Well, on the
What?
inside, that's Kurt Russell, right?
I don't know.
Chad, is that Kurt Russell? I think it's Kurt Russell. On the outside, generic blonde lady. I don't know. It's definitely, it's Kurt Russell, and this is where
Emily Blunt?
Sure, let's go with Emily Blunt. She changes her hair sometimes. Nice.
Nice.
Well, hey, it was clean. It wasn't fast because of freaking Wacko Wax. Chat, who's out here eating Wacko Wax? Novelty candy made to resemble human lips.
I have no idea.
Disgusting. If you find any Wacko Wax in your children's trick-or-treating candy in the next 48 hours, report it to the police.
Yeah, bring it to Shade next week.
That's right. Bring it with you. Send us a picture. You know how to reach us. All right, well, we will be back with Primetime tonight, Buck Rising. Morning show tomorrow, Austin and JT. Game day show on Sunday as the Titans take on the Chargers. JT will be on site. Austin and I will be at the Landshark Bar and Grill. Going to be a good time. Got a lot of written content coming today and tomorrow from AtoZSports. Check it out. Until then, have a great rest of your Thursday.